Um, and I think I also have the AI companion. So today I'll just be talking to you a little bit about Zotero and what Zotero does. Zotero is essentially an organization that creates these software tools, um, and it's kind of like they call it a personal research assistant. So let me just share screens here. Um, so the website is zotero.org, and I can put it on the chat. Um, And essentially, Zotero has a few options. Number one, it has an application, a desktop application that you can download. And then number two, it also has plugins that you can use with Google Docs. And it has a Google Chrome plugin as well that can link to your desktop app. Um, Not only that, but you can also create an account, and you can log in and create collections and use those collections. And that's the part where my colleague Christina will be talking about. But I'll be discussing to you how to use Google Chrome and the Google and the Zotero extension, so that then within these Google documents that we're adding suggestions and we're creating, or when we're collaborating with other researchers, uh, you can keep track of all your citations. And the Zotero application helps you generate bibliographies and keep track of what citations you're using. And it helps you edit them if you need to. So it's a very useful way to just make sure that you have all your correct citations. Um, when we're doing these kinds of projects, like the school project, a lot of the research that we do is peer reviewed or journal articles or newspapers, and a lot of those resources have a lot of little different pieces of information uh, that we need to keep track of. So that's what essentially Zotero helps you do. So I'm just going to share my desktop screen here. So, once you download Zotero, it should look something like this. Um, on the left side, you'll have a library and a bunch of document and a bunch of folders. And so through here, you can create folders per project, let's say, or per document if you prefer. Or in your library, you can just have all of your saved resources that you've collected. So for now, I'm just gonna create a new collection. So a collection, we'll just call this a demo. And then you see that it creates a folder that is empty. And the easiest way to add something to Zotero is to just click here, and they have options for what kind of citation or what kind of reference you want to save. So, for example, if I have like a research paper, then I can maybe look here for like a journal or something like that. Let's see, or like a report. Um, or, oh yeah, here it is, journal article. So you can journal article, and then on the right side, it'll allow you to, um, include the typical pieces of information that a journal article would require, a reference for a journal article. You could change this to something else, like if it's a TV, or if it's a map or a website, a document. Uh, those are also available, and you can see that these options change. But the one I'll be focusing on for now is the journal article, because I want to emphasize good uh, citations and good references. It's not very often that a website or a web page is an acceptable reference to make a claim. Usually, when we're making claims like the humans are affecting the water cycle. You can't make that claim without backing it up. And if I want to make such a strong claim, a web page without without an author, without information, without a date, is not a very strong reference, let's say. So we always want to make sure that when we're using references, that they are number one, reputable sources, that are trusted sources, or that are sources that have all the information, all the details that you need for reference. And usually those are peer-reviewed articles that are in journals, um, that have, some sort of identification ID, or some sort of like DOI, as they call them, IDs that are referenced throughout the web. And those DOIs can be used with Zotero to create these. So for example, I'm not sure what the NLU library is, but we at Columbia have one called Clio. If I go to Clio, um, let's say, water resources, right? And so here we'll have all the articles. And if we I'm just going to pick a random article, um, you know, something about water and metabolism. Uh, and so what I've already done is that by going to my Columbia Library's webpage, this is a trusted source, and you could see that all of these sources have good information on them, like the author, the citation, the volume, the date. And these are important pieces of information that when you start making claims in your writing, then they support you, what is this? Let's see. Just gonna go to a different one. Okay, read book online. And a lot of these data will have like an ISBN number if it's a book. Let me see if there's like an article that I can, um, journal article. Here we go. Oh, I'll have to sign in. That's not what I want. Anyway, we can pick this ISBN, and sometimes they'll have DOI numbers. So actually, if you go to Google Scholar, this could be another good resource for research papers. So what are resources? And what's great about Google Scholar is that it takes you to the page. It also tells you how many people have cited it. So this is a good indications that maybe these papers that are cited by a lot of people could be good resources. So, oftentimes there'll be open resources like this where they don't have a paywall. Um, and they'll sometimes have, identification numbers, or um, a way for you to identify who the author is. So let's see. Sorry, I should have planned for this part. Here we go. So this one looks like a online library from AGU. It looks like a very legit website. It has a lot of information, and it's got a DOI number. And so what's good about Zotero is that we can just grab this DOI number, and instead of us having to go in here and be like, oh, okay, well, whose name is this, Robert, and have to type it in, um, which you can do, title book, and then you'll see that it'll make one for you. But what's great about these ISBN numbers, or I'm sorry, these DOI numbers or ISBN numbers, is that Zotero searches for them online. So all you need is that ISBN number, the DOI number, or any kind of identification for your resource, so that Zotero will just quickly automatically build these for you. So if I put this DOI number that I got directly from this website, um, you just give it a, and then it builds the whole thing for you. So now we have a very good source that we can cite across across any of your research papers. So if you have like a document, let's say if I like just to create notes, sorry, um, like if I just want to create a new Google Doc and I can just right click, and I could say create bibliography from item. This is a kind of a basic way that you can create a bibliography. You pick which one you want, APA or Chicago, these are all styles. And then in Zotero, you can go online and download more styles. And if you need a specific kind of citation style, I'm just gonna pick APA. And then I think, oh wait, create a bibliography. And I'm gonna copy it to my clipboard, you know. So I'm gonna press OK. And then just one way which I could do it is just paste here. Let's see, paste. There we go. And then it has pasted this entire thing. So that's one way in which you can build out your citations through um, Zotero. And then one cool thing you can do is that you can export this collection. So like, let's say, once you gather enough um, research papers, here's another DOI. So we can grab this DOI, type it in here. And now we have two citations. We can erase our dummy one. Okay. So now we have two citations here. And then if we want, we can just copy these and create the bibliography like this, another option. And then if we want to see what that looks like, there it is. And now you have two of these. Another option is, I think you can, maybe not. Sometimes you can do like the in-text citation, but I don't think you can do it here. So another option is to start using Google, and Google has this plugin. So if you just type in Zotero Chrome extension, you can download it. You see, I already have it connected, and it's very useful. And I'll show you how it works. So let's say let's just go for a third page that I'm doing my research. I'm on Google Chrome and I look at this. Oh, I really like this reference. I want to keep it. Instead of me having to copy here and paste over here, the extension just allows you to click and it'll automatically save it on your Zotero app. It just has to be open. Like you have to have it open. And so once you click here, it'll ask you, well, which collection do you want to add it to? So you can add it to any of them, but I'm going to add it to my demo one. And what this plugin does is that it crawls the whole page and it tries to find these pieces of information. Usually when it finds a DOI, it just builds it pretty quickly. And now you can see that we have 3 citations. And then just for good measure, we can then maybe do one of these, another one. There we go on the demo. And then let's go to nasa.gov or NASA Earth data. Oh, NASA. And then, topics. Let's just see like one, whatever, get started. And you're like, oh, this is really interesting. I love what they said here. I wanna use this as a citation. It's a web page, but you can still refer it, use it as a reference. And so what happens is that, as I said, it's gonna crawl the web page, and it's not that good at doing it. unless it finds the DOI. So since this is a regular page, oftentimes you just have to go here and, like make some edits or something, you know, and or something like that. You can make edits and then it'll keep the URL. It'll tell you when it was accessed, uh, the date, the author, or we could just type in here, create. And then these you can include the year, you know, uh, sorry, NASA. There we go. And then you can display different ones, like they added, or you can hide them. Usually what I do is these three, because it tells me the year, the creator, and the title. Once you've collected all of these in your collection, what's really great is that if you have the plugin, I think there's another Google Chrome plugin that allows you to have this little drop-down menu here. And so what's cool is that, if, say for example, if Jewel was writing something, I'm just going to copy this from him. He wrote something and, NASA this, NASA that. And it's like, okay, I need to make a claim like NASA is great. I have to make this claim. Uh, I need to back it up. So I want to add an in-text citation. It's the first one is you want to go here, add edit citation. And so what's going to happen is that it's going to pop out this little, it's going to ask you, hey, this is a new document. We don't recognize it. What style do you want it in? I'm just going to keep the same. And then it's going to pop out this little, I don't know, bar. And so I think with this bar, you could say like, you could just type in uh, a title or something and it'll start looking for it. What I like to do is to have a little more control. I like to go to classic view, and classic view, it gives you this uh, window. And then you can pick, which of your collections you want to focus on. You can also do multiple sources if you want to do multiple sources. So let's say, oh, I'm making the claim that NASA is pretty cool. So I'm going to add NASA. I can also say I found this on page 3, let's say. And then I also want to add this one. This one was page 126, let's say. But I want NASA to go first or NASA to go last. You could organize these however you want. Or remove them. So let's say we do 2 of them. And then you let Zotero do its thing. And then you could see that it's created an in-text citation for you that is referring to NASA and to the other author that we picked. Then after that, you can say, oh, well, I'm happy with my citations. Create me a bibliography. And so you just got to click here, give it a second, and it'll give you a bibliography that is, sorted by name, and it's in the right format. What's really great is that, oh, I forgot another citation, or I got some feedback. I wanna make more changes. So you keep making changes. Oh, this is really interesting. I need to make another claim. Water is good for you. So I want to back my claim up. I can continue to add citations just because I started the bibliography. Zotero is dynamic and responsive, so it will respond to any changes that you make. So if I want to just add this one, let's say this is page 34, and this is a single additional reference. So I'll add it to it. And then you can see that here's my reference, my new reference, and then I can continue. And then this reference has also been added here. So now you have your bibliography has been updated to whichever pieces you have here. let's say you're like, oh wait, actually, this guy didn't really write this, so I can go back and edit these, and you can see how they get edited. So I can just say, no, I don't like this guy, just the NASA one. Um, Give it a second, and you see that now it's just NASA on its own, and the other citation has been removed from the bibliography. Um, and so it's very responsive, and you can also have other options like document preferences. If you want to change the style, you can choose a different one. Like if you want to go for Chicago, you can change it, and it'll change the styling. You can also do custom edits. So like if you're like, oh, NASA, but I wanted to say, something else as well, you can add it, and nothing's gonna happen. Um, but if you refresh it, if you click refresh, it'll turn everything back to its original, and it'll ask you like, hey, you did this custom edit. Do you want to keep it or not? And I'm gonna say, no, let's not keep it. So it'll turn it back to the way it was. Same thing for the bibliography. If there's something that you change or you click like accessed, today, um, then it'll uh, it'll do the same thing. You could just refresh, and if you just want to keep it, you just say no. Oh, well, it looks like it doesn't work for here. Ah, that's so interesting. Yeah, I just kind of left it over here. Uh, so yeah, just play around with it. But in any case, it's a great way to keep track of your edits, especially in the same if you're working in the same document. Like I said, you can edit Zotero and go here and add more things. Like if you want to add a different person or a second um, citation, it'll add it for you, and it'll add to the bibliography. Or if you see that, sometimes there's spelled wrong or something like that, you can go in here and just make changes. Instead of Earth data, you can say Earth data, let's say. And then once you make those changes, uh, and you press refresh, it'll it'll reflect the changes that you made. So all this stuff uh, can be linked to Zotero.org if you create an account, and the accounts are free. Um, so I will turn it over to Christina, and she will talk about, how to do. Excuse me. For the modules, I think we're using. You don't have to worry about it. Just pick APA for now, because the Quarto document will auto create that for us. We will need, more importantly, like I said, Quarto can build these on its own if we have the DOI. Um, but if we don't have the DOI, those have to be built manually in Quarto. So we would still need all those pieces of information, like the name, the date. So Zotero is a good way to keep track of it in any format that you need.
Yeah, thank you, Juan. I'll try not to be too repetitive with using Zotero, but I will show you groups and collections within groups. We have our own group library. Essentially, what that means is that multiple people are on it and they can edit directly the collections, they can add in different files and have full control over the library. I'm not sure if there are different levels. We have a system where everyone has the same amount of access when using it, and we can grant the exact same access to you with your email and your account. But when you're on Zotero and logged in, there's a groups tab here on this top ribbon. I am part of another group, but you'll see if you have more than one, they're listed. So in the tops T school group, we see that the membership is open, the type is public. It being public means that you don't need an account to view the group and any of the collections and papers within the group. Um, that includes the citation itself. Sometimes we can even upload PDFs if there's a paywall for things, um, which could be really useful for open science. So in the main group page, you'll see the recently added items. These are all the items that are in the group Tops T School. And within this, we have different folders that we've made for our different modules and for the literature review that we're doing for those. Make this big screen. This is in the browser, but I'll also show what it looks like in the desktop application afterwards. But it's the same that Juan just demoed when you add things in. It's just that multiple people can do that for collections versus just in your library. So we have one for climate and agriculture, health and air quality, disaster and wildfire, the different modules we have. And this top ribbon, I believe, is identical to the desktop app. But in the desktop, it's the exact same. You have all of these, and when someone uploads something, it will live update on another person's machine and account. I don't know if you can tell who uploaded it. I don't know if there's a user, but regardless, you can see what everyone else has uploaded from this and upload into different collections. So I won't do a whole demo again, but I'll show that when you're in a group collection, the way that you would add something with the extension is the same as we did before. So it's just look up climate change effects. And when you do the Zotero extension, you can save it to, this will have the group collections and also your personal ones. But from here, we can add it to ones that are shared with other people. And let's say, for instance, Juan was also doing a literature review on climate change and agriculture. He could at the exact same time upload files into that same collection. So I think that's about it. I don't think it's that different from a solo account. The settings we have on it shouldn't make it any different from when you're uploading it onto our collection. The only thing that we do need is folks' emails so that we can add your accounts to the Zotero, because we don't have it set up. I'm not sure if you can set up like this in a way that anyone can just access it and edit. But I think that's about it for groups on
Yeah.
Zotero.
Christina,
But
can
if,
you show the app really quick?
yeah,
Yeah, so as Christina was mentioning, if someone else is working and decides to add a citation, in order for it to reflect on your machine, sometimes if you click on the top right corner, there's a little refresh button on top. Usually you just click that and it'll sync. If you obviously have to be logged in. If you're logged in, it'll sync your collections that are online with the ones that you have here. So the idea is that as you collect, as you do these lit reviews and narratives, that while you're working on your desktop, you can also be linked to these collections that Christina just mentioned, and keep track of all the citations that the module is using. And that way you can also use those as references yourself. Um, so it's very useful. And as Christina said, um, if we just need you to create an account on Zotero, right, Christina? And
yeah,
just let
that's
us
right.
know what email you used so that we can add you to the group. Christina, did you want to add anything else?
I don't think I had anything else to add. I'm assuming with the Google Drive plugin, it will live update too if you're using a group collection. But I
Yeah,
haven't used
yeah.
it.
So once your Google document refers directly to the desktop application that you have. So as long as you keep syncing your collection with the group that's online, you should be able to then refer to them on the Google Docs.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I also just put my email in the chat, so once um, you have made your account, you can just send me an email with your username and I can grant you access to the group and all the edit permissions that you need. Or let me know if you have any questions about the groups and if there's any issues with it as well.
I can share my email. I already have an account set up. I
Okay,
can just
yeah,
fix it
great.
in the chat if that's easier.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Christina. I appreciate it. Did
Yeah.
anybody else have any questions before we wrap up?
Oh, I joined here late. I'm so sorry. It's because I just got out of work. I just wanted to give like an update on my task. If you have a second.
Yeah, give me a second. I'm just gonna stop this recording.